All right, let's dive right in. Tonight, we're doing more than just learning a few new words. We are trying to survive. So, vamos a jugar. Let's play. We're jumping headfirst into the amazing party game Los Hombres Lobo de Castronegro, which you might know as the Werewolves of Millers Hollow.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in the middle of a game night and thought, you know what would make this better? If I could accuse my friends of being werewolves, but in Spanish? Well, you are in exactly the right place. This game is all about lying, figuring things out, and, begging for your life. And we're going to learn how to do it with a little Spanish style.
So, how are we going to navigate this whole treacherous ordeal? Well, with this guide right here. I want you to think of this as our survival manual. It's got all the key words, the phrases we're going to need to not just play, but to actually strategize, to point fingers, and, with any luck, to win.
Okay, let's get into it. The best way to learn this is to just play. So we're going to walk through one full make-believe round together. So, welcome to the little village of Castronegro. The sun's going down and things are about to get pretty interesting.
I want you to picture this. You've just shown up in this town. You're looking around, you don't know who to trust. And your goal? It sounds simple, but trust me, it's not going to be easy. You just have to survive the night and figure out which of your new neighbors are actually beasts in disguise.
Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to cover the absolute basics. Let's just quickly get familiar with the key terms you'll be hearing as soon as the accusations start flying.
These words, they're your foundation. You've got el juego, the game itself. Los Hombres Lobo, that's the werewolves. And los aldeanos, the villagers. The whole thing goes down in la aldea, the village. And it all boils down to la votación, the voting. You'll need to know how to acusar, to accuse, and how to defend yourself so you don't get eliminated.
So at the very start of the game, you're going to get a card, and you're going to look at it secretly. It's going to tell you who you are. You're either a werewolf, an hombre lobo, and you'll be hunting with your pack every night in total secret, or you're a regular villager, an aldeano, and your only job is to find those werewolves before they pick off everybody one by one.
The game really gets going once the sun sets. This is the night phase. This is when all the secrets happen, when deadly choices are made completely in silence. And the whole time, the moderator is guiding what happens.
Just listen, you'll hear the moderator say, Es de noche. Todos cierren los ojos. It's nighttime. Everyone close your eyes. And just like that, the whole village is asleep, but, not everyone is actually sleeping.
And then, you'll hear the call, Hombres Lobo. Despierten y elijan a su víctima. Werewolves, wake up and choose your victim. This is the moment. This is where the wolves secretly, silently agree on who they're going to eliminate. So if you're a werewolf, this is your time to shine. You'd just silently point at your target. Maybe you'd mouth the words, Elijo a Maria, for example. I choose Maria. Nobody else can see you, except, of course, your fellow wolves. Okay, so after all that secret business in the dark, the sun finally comes up. And with it, total chaos. This is the day phase. This is really the heart of the game. It's just full of passionate debate and, frankly, wild accusations.
The moderator kicks things off by announcing the grim news of who didn't make it through the night. And then they'll declare, Todos despierten, ya es de día. Everyone wake up, it's daytime now. And that's the signal, the blame game is officially on.
So the day phase is pretty much a verbal tug of war. On one side, you've got people making accusations. Creo que Juan es un hombre lobo. I think Juan is a werewolf. And on the other side, you've got these desperate defenses. No soy un lobo, soy un aldeano. I'm not a wolf, I'm a villager. You might even get bold and challenge someone, like, ¿Por qué me acusas sin pruebas? Why are you accusing me without any proof?
All right, so let's talk strategy. You want to sound convincing when you accuse someone, right? You don't want to just point a finger, you want to actually build a solid case. Well, there's a really simple little formula that makes your accusation sound way more legit.
It all comes down to what I call the creo que formula. Super simple. You start with creo que, which just means I think that. Then you add who you're talking about, like Maria. And then, bam, you drop the accusation. Creo que Maria es un lobo. Or you could even suggest a group action, like creo que debemos eliminar a Juan. I think we should eliminate Juan. See? It's direct, it's clear, and it really puts the pressure on them. Now here is another fantastic strategic phrase. It uses the conditional si, which just means if. So you could say something like, Si eliminamos a Pedro, podremos ver qué pasa. If we eliminate Pedro, we can see what happens. This is such a great way to test a theory you have and get the whole village to vote with you. It turns your little hunch into like a group science experiment.
So, after all the shouting and the pleading and the back and forth, the talking has to end. The village has to make a choice. It is time for the final vote.
When the moderator says it's time to vote, you just point at the person you think is a werewolf, and you say it loud and clear. Voto por, and then you say their name. Voto por Miguel. I vote for Miguel. It's simple, it's direct, and it can be totally lethal.
Or you could say it just a little differently. You could say, Mi voto es para Miguel. My vote is for Miguel. It means the same thing. Every single vote gets counted, and whoever has the most votes against them, well, they're out of the game.
And then comes the big reveal. The moderator flips over the card of the person who was just eliminated. Now, if you were right, you get to celebrate. You can yell, Lo sabía, Miguel era un lobo. I knew it, Miguel was a wolf. But if you were wrong, it's more like, oh no, hemos eliminado a un aldeano. Oh no, we've eliminated a villager. And that means the werewolves are one step closer to winning.
And there you have it. That was one full round. So let's do a quick recap of your new Spanish survival kit. You now know how to understand the basic roles, how to act in secret during the night phase, how to accuse your friends, how to defend your own innocence, and, probably most important, how to cast that final game-changing vote.
So, you've got the vocabulary now. The village of Castronegro is out there, it's waiting, and the moon is starting to rise. So the only question left is, who are you going to accuse first?